5 signs that you should try to go for a same day date with her and how to do it. Hi, I'm St. Robert, and for the last several years I've been coaching day game all over Europe and North America. And in this video series I'm showing you the exact things I teach my in-field day game coaching students. I'll tell you where to find the rest of the video series at the end of this video. Same delays are like a dream to new day gamers. They often think that it's something that's out of their reach, that they can't get it, it's something so crazy. But once they get it, it's their biggest achievement in day game. So let me tell you what to do to try to go for a same delay. There are 5 pretty simple signs that you should try to go on an Insta date with a girl and try to get a same delay. You don't need all 5 of them, but 1 or 2 most likely won't be enough. So the more of those you have, the more likely the same delays to happen. And if you have all 5 of them, then, well, you should always go for an Insta date. Number 1, set is going really well. Well, it's pretty simple. You're snacking, she's giving you a topic, you're storytelling, she's really investing well, she's asking you a bunch of questions. You try challenging her when she says, oh, I really like ballroom dancing, and you say, oh, I never really understood ballroom dancing. It seems kind of weird to me. Why did you decide to do ballroom dancing? And she is explaining herself, and you decide to use qualification, and she is qualifying, and it seems like it's really, really smooth. And if a set is going like that, then that's a very good sign that if you meet a few other of these 5 signs, that you should try to go for a night date and get a same delay. Number 2, she doesn't have important plans. Well, this is pretty self-explanatory. You're doing your day game set, it's going pretty great, the conversation is good, you're trying to find out what she's up to, and she's not really doing anything. She's going for a walk, or she's going, I don't know, to a shop, or which isn't like a serious thing, she's just going shopping. And well, if this is the case, and a few other of the signs that I'm talking about in this video are there as well, then you should definitely try to go for a night date and try to get a same delay. This reminds me of a chick in a cute military outfit. She wasn't in the army or anything like that. She had this really weird military outfit on when I stopped her a few years back in Riga in one of the main shopping centers there, and the set was magical. Just Bambi eyes, she was melting, the sexual tension was crazy high. It was a perfect set for a same delay, but she was late for a job interview, and if a chick is going to a job interview, you're almost never going to get her to not go to it. It's just an uncalibrated thing to do. So I took the number, and actually what ended up happening is we texted a little bit, we went out the same day, and I got a same day delay with her. Number 3, she isn't trying to eject from the set at any moment. When you're chatting to a girl and there are moments of silence, or you don't know what to say, and she's the one feeling the silence instead of saying I gotta go, or I'm late, or anything else, yeah, it's a really, really good sign she likes you. And also, if a set is already pretty long and she still isn't trying to leave, she's trying to keep the conversation going. And this reminds me of a set I did in Prague, Czech Republic, a few years ago. I was coaching a guy from New York City who came down to Prague, and after finishing the coaching day, I told him, listen, I'm gonna go do some sets for myself. If you want, you can kind of walk with me and you can listen to my sets. I'm not gonna do the sets as I do them in demos, when I try to show specific parts of a day game set, for example, demonstrate teasing or challenging or storytelling. But I said, I'm just gonna do what I do. Like, if you want, you can come and listen. And I opened the first girl. She's Russian, a solo tourist from Russia. I think she was like 18 or 19 or something like that. And we were doing this long ass set, and she's not leaving, and it's already, I don't know how long it was, but like towards the longer side. And she just at one point suggested, like, she was going to walk someone and see the city. She just actually suggested that we go walk and see the city together. So not only was she not ejecting, but she was actually the one who suggested the I date. Well, and you can imagine how this ended. Oh, actually it ended with some guy in Czech language sending me an angry voice message on Instagram, because I suppose that was some dude that she was here to see or something. Number 4, this is a big one, Bambi eyes. When you're chatting with a girl and she's just looking at you with these big Bambi eyes, it's really hard to explain, but kind of once you see it, you will know what I'm talking about. And this is something you have to especially pay attention if you are in a country where people don't speak your language that well. And I remember earlier this year in like April-ish, I spent 2 months in Serbia, and I actually saw the chick earlier the same day, and I didn't open her, but then I met her not far from my apartment, and I opened her, and her English was pretty bad, but she was just looking at me and like melting, just crazy melting. And again, we ended up going on an eye date for a coffee, then for a beer, and then we got some wine and went to my apartment. And well, the rest is history, as they say. But it was very clear how she was looking at me, even though we had this language barrier, she was melting. And I know it's hard to explain what Bambi eyes are, but once you see them in a set, you'll know what I'm talking about. And a fifth sign, and this is crucial, she's not from this city. If you meet a girl and she already has met several of the signs that we just talked about, and she is not from this city, and it could mean that she's a tourist from another country, or it could mean she just came to the city where you are from another city in the same country and she's just there for a day or a few days. Oh my god, this is gold. I remember around 2.5 years back, something like that, I went on a day game coaching trip to Prague. I was coaching a few students there, and it was my last day in Prague. And on that trip, I had, I think, one day game lay, and one chick asked me for directions, and she turned out to be Russian, and I got that lay. But in general, I wasn't really satisfied with the results I had gotten in Prague on that trip. So it was my last day in the city, and I just said, I'm going out and I'm getting a same day lay. And I do one set, and the second set, and the third set, and then I'm just walking around my neighborhood in Prague too, and I see this really beautiful Asian girl who's walking away from the city center, a stunner, like really amazing. And I open her, and turns out she is on a business trip from China. She went to a conference in Vienna with a company, and now she went from Vienna to Prague solo to check out Prague. This is her first time in Europe. She's staying in a hostel. She's extremely tired after sightseeing all day, and I just took her on an eye date for a beer, and then we went to another bar which was right outside my apartment. Actually, you can see the bar from my apartment window, and well, again, as they say, the rest was history. And a big part of the same day lays you will be getting will be with girls that are from other cities. Okay, so you know 5 signs that you should go on an eye date to get a same day lay. Now let's talk about how to invite her for that instant date. What you do not want to do is you don't want to say something like, oh, would you like to go and get a coffee with me? Or, oh, would you like to go and grab a beer with me? You don't ask. Just as with good number closing, you're saying what's going to happen. You're leading instead of asking. You can say something like, oh, I just finished all my work and I was on my way to grab a coffee, or I was on my way to grab a quick beer. Come on, let's join and take the first step. And she will very often follow the first step if you've ticked off enough signs that you should go for an eye date. Depending on a country, but more importantly, depending on a girl, this instant date venue where you go for that coffee could be viewed as venue 1, or it could be viewed as like venue 0, and then you would still do venue 1 and venue 2, and then you would try to pull home. The way I look at it is, if I go for a coffee for an eye date, then, well, I might view sometimes that as venue 1, still in most cases yes, but sometimes as venue 0. Whereas if I'm going for a beer or for a glass of wine, I will always treat it as venue 1. I will stay there as long as I would stay in venue 1, then do one more venue, and then most likely try to pull home. And once you are on that eye date, once you are drinking that coffee or whatever you're drinking, and after spending there however long you spend there, I mean, sometimes you'll spend 20 minutes, sometimes you'll spend around 40 minutes or even more in the first venue, you just say, hey, I know this really cool beer place around the corner, let's go grab a beer. And if going for a quick coffee or a quick beer on the first venue is not a strong commitment, but if a girl is coming with you to a second venue, if you have done any escalation, verbal or physical, in venue 1, it's really up to you to fuck it up. The Serbian girl with Bambi eyes that I told you about before, well, I actually asked her, when did you know that we would have sex? And she said, oh, well, we went for the coffee, But when I went to have a beer with you to a bar, I knew that I'm having sex with this guy. In this video, I won't go into all the details about what to do in when you're 1 and what to do in when you're 2 and how to pull home. I've explained all of it on the free dating courses on daygamecourses.com. So just go there, sign up there, and then just watch those free courses there. Well, that's all I wanted to share about same-day lays, and in the next video I'll talk about should you ever touch a girl in a day game set. As I told you, this video is part of a big video series where I'm showing you the exact things I teach my infield day game coaching students. So let me tell you where to find the rest of the video series to make sure you are not making mistakes earlier in the set and you actually get to implement things you learned in this video. First is the first part of the beginner's guide to day game video series. It's called the structured natural approach. And in this video series, I'm explaining everything you need to do in the beginning of a set to make sure she actually stops and wants to talk to you instead of just saying, oh, I gotta go, I'm late for work, I don't have time, and all the other things you've heard many times before. The next is Beginner's Guide to Day Game Part 2, Attraction, and in this video series I explain everything you need to know about making a girl attracted to you. So teasing, storytelling, how can you tell whether she's hooked, and if you're not sure, how can you actually test where she's hooked, and many other things. And this video is Chapter 3 of Beginner's Guide to Day Game called Comfort, and I'm explaining everything you need to know to make sure a girl feels comfortable enough with you and feels safe enough with you to go out on a date with you. And since there are so many videos to watch, I actually created a very simple poster showing, kind of in a linear fashion, all the things you have to do in a day game set, or which videos and in which order you should watch to actually get good at day game. Links to all of these things are in the description below this video. If you have any more questions, you can ask them in our Day Game Church group chat, which you can join by going to my website and joining a mailing list. And if you like the way I explain day game and the way I teach day game in a very structured, step-by-step way, and you want to get some in-field coaching with me, then below this video is a link where you can find out more about coaching. If you like this video, well, give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel and click that notification bell button simply so that whenever I release a new video, you get a notification about it and it doesn't get lost in between all the things you're subscribed to. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.